We have been testing on the obesity-related disorders. And what we have recently discovered in using obese animal models, especially we tested in obese high-fat diet-induced obese models, mice, that this drug, if we give over a period of time, it affects metabolism and also reduces the fat mass. So in other words, it reduces the body weight gain. And because obesity itself is a very epidemic situation right now, despite the fact that we exercise more and we are more aware of the obesity, but obesity prevalence and its incidence are going up around the world. So there is a need of a drug which we can use as therapeutics to combat the obesity, because obesity itself leads to many diseases, including diabetes, hypertension, kidney disease, heart disease, coronary disease. It's a mother of diseases. And so this study we are going to publish soon indicates that we might have some promising target which we can use and deal with the obesity. So we measure a number of parameters related to obesity and its disorders. So we measure the fat mass in abdomen, and we measure plasma insulin, which is an indicator of insulin resistance type 2 diabetes. And also we measure fatty acids and triglycerides, which show that if somebody has a dyslipidemia situation. And obesity usually is associated with dyslipidemia. So what we found that by treating with this drug, we lower the plasma insulin. It means insulin function is getting better. We lower free fatty acids and triglycerides. It means the lipid profile is improving. And also we found that it reduces the fat mass. It means it will translate in the long term into body weight reduction. And then it means also that it will affect a number of disorders which would otherwise have been with obesity. That was really more interesting thing, that because with the accumulation of fat in the body, the liver becomes fatty. We call fatty liver, and which also then causes damage and it affects the whole body function. So what we also found that with this drug treatment, the liver weight went back to normal. So that was a remarkable finding of this drug treatment. So the question whether the results were marginal or substantial, because we did not really compare with the results with other drugs treatment, but on its own right, I would say they are substantial. And the reason is that few markers, especially free fatty acid reduction and the normalization of fatty liver in the high-fat diet-induced obesity, there were bigger changes. And that showed that really it can make a big impact on the obesity outcome treatment. And so really, if you translate into tomatoes in humans, these are the major issues: fatty liver or dyslipidemia. And if you can see these animals, if it works out in humans that way, it's a great achievement with this drug. We ran this study in female mice, and in the females, though they have lesser frequency of obesity than men, but when they have extreme obesity, more obesity than men. So treating females with the anti-obesity drug or reducing body weight gain in females is more difficult. So what we found here, the good thing was that the drug works in female mice. We predicted that it will be probably estrogen dependent, because estrogen is a female hormone, and there is a correlation between AT2 receptors, or the target where the drug works, and estrogen hormone. But we found that independent of estrogen, it works. So the good thing that even the females who after menopause, when the estrogen goes down, this drug should work. So at this point, we know that drug works. And what we measure, we know that it normalized the parameters, the fatty acids and the liver weight. But as far as the mechanism is concerned, we don't know yet. It may take some time to figure out. And once we know the mechanism, then we certainly, with more definite, we can say this drug works, and through this mechanism, then create a confidence among scientific community as well as in the regulatory agencies that this drug really should be approved. based on what we have been doing for years on this, using this compound as well as the target, as so-called AT2 receptor, that this field is growing, and with the availability of new tools such as drug C21, we are able to do something we couldn't do 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And now we have more publication, so more interest is growing. So it looks like we haven't seen the maximum yet. And hopefully we will arrive on a very different conclusion about this drug as well as the target. And we are looking forward to that.